What's going on with KD?
Well, first of all, let me address the Steve Kerr situation. He should have absolutely no problem with Steve Kerr.
Zero.
Is prodding, is that another word for coaching?
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, if you can't let a coach prod you, then you just don't want to be coached. I really don't put much stock into this. You know, Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan got into it at times. Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant. It happens. So I don't put much into that at all. The bigger thing is Steph's team. KD knew it was Steph's team when he went there. But there were two things that he had not experienced that he wanted that overrode his sense that it would be Steph's team. Number one, he really did love the way they played. The selflessness, the ball movement, the player movement. He wanted to be a part of that after all those years with Russ, ISO ball. Secondly, of course, rings.
Yes.
Okay? So even though he knew it's somebody else's team, those two desires overrode it. But now that he's experienced all that, the ball movement, the player movement, the way they play, and then the championships, and by his own admission, he has said, is this it? These championships, it's nice, but it's no big deal.
Is that all there is?
Right. Now there's nothing to override the understanding that this is somebody else's team. And he's, for 3 years, KD's had to live with this. His own general manager at the parade last year, Bob Myers poking fun at him. Well, Steph's been here since the beginning. KD's not. Clyde Frazier, another top 50 player of all time. Not a role player, an all-time great, saying, there's an asterisk, by him. And then, look, I can name two players I've talked to off the top of my head who have told me, look, everybody respects KD's game. You can't help but know this dude is awesome. But they look a little funny at the rings because they feel like a lot of guys could have went there and got those.
Wow.
And so KD understands this, so that is what is eating him up right now. And look, everybody's wondering, let me finish with this point. After all that's gone over the last 3 years, him winning the finals MVPs the last 2 years, the players on his own team, Steph, Clay, saying he's the best player on the team. We need him. Everybody saying he's probably the best player in the world. You can tell yourself, man, these critics don't know what they're talking about because they do need me. I've been the finals MVP the last 2 years. Clearly they need me.
Sure.
But now, with your own eyes, you're watching it. And KD is smart. He's a basketball. IQ is high. He knows he's seeing how good Steph is now. How Clay and Steph are demolishing Lillard and CJ. How Draymond is playing awesome basketball. And now he's seeing it within himself. They don't need me. And here's let's get to the crux of the matter. Because everybody's saying, are they better without KD? Can they be better? Here's the issue. They don't have to be better without KD. They just have to be better than everybody else without KD. Yep. If they win this championship without KD, people already belittling the 2 rings.
KD is diminished.
No question.
Fact. But hold on, Skip. You remember I said the very thing. I said the very thing that Kevin Durant is upset about Steve Kerr about. And I was ignorant for saying what I said. That was an ignorant statement. I said he would never be loved like Steph Curry in the Bay.
You said that.
I said it. And he said that was
a fact.
That's an ignorant statement. Really? And now the very thing that he called me, said I was ignorant for saying is what he's upset about. You said that the fact that he loved the ball movement, was willing to override that against his better judgment, what he was doing. The opportunity to win the rings overrode. But what he couldn't get his mind around is that he won finals MVP, and he still was never embraced like Steph was. He couldn't override that. Skip, I can get my round. You know what? Yeah, they can call me a sucker for going and jumping on the 73 and 19. Yeah, but I got these rings. I'm the finals MVP. I hit the shots of shots heard around the world. Steph, our baby, though. We like Steph more than you. And I kept telling people all the time, Kevin Durant's a private jet. Skip, I got a little money. Not much. I ain't got Skip Bayless money. I got a little money. I can fly private sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a great...
Must be nice.
It's a luxury.
Must be nice.
But if Delta going exactly the spot the private jet can take me, why the hell would I do that?
I just use points every time I fly. That's all I got.
I ain't got no points. I ain't got no points. But anyway, KD was a luxury.
Yeah.
KD makes him unbeatable. in a 7-game series. But I tell you what, he better pray he gets back. Because if they win this title without Kevin Durant, nobody will ever look at Kevin Durant the same.
Well, that's why he'll have to leave.
Yeah.
They can look at him the same if he goes somewhere else and leads a team to a championship.
Skip, how you the best player in the world, and you missed the last 2 series and a game and a half of the other one, and they win, and they demolish. It wasn't even close. Think about they went 6 games with the Clippers. They demolished Houston without you. They demolished in Portland without you. They'll probably run through Toronto or Milwaukee without you. And you want to walk around and say, I'm the baddest man on the planet. How?
So, my first question is this. Where has Kevin Durant been during the last 4 playoff games? Not on the bench. How many best players on teams, on really good teams, would say, I'm not even going to go out there and associate with you guys because I'm hurt. I'll just stay in the locker room. It's a bad look because they're supposed to be together, and now it looks like he's separating himself. I'm above all that. I'm not going to go sit on the end of the bench in civvies and have to clap for you guys. That's how it comes across to me. It's wrong. It's a bad look, even though we saw in game 1 at Oakland, I think it was, where the TV camera caught him. He was shaking their hands as they came up.
Game 2, they was behind.
The locker room. But
That was game 2, they was behind.
I don't know if we saw it at game 1 or not.
Yeah.
But I assume he's just watching it on TV in the locker room. That is wrong. Now to the irony of the Seth statement, which I brought up the next day on this show because I loved it, because I agree with it, and it's exactly what I keep saying about these Warriors. Again, are they better without? No, they're not better on paper without Kevin Durant because he's the best player in the world to me and back-to-back Finals MVP. Are they playing better without Kevin Durant than they were when Houston was on its 22-9 run in the third quarter and looked like it had seized control of that game? Yes, they're playing better because, to Seth's point, they are definitely harder to guard because everybody's moving. So Kevin left iso ball in Oklahoma City for the beautiful ball movement that he saw in Oakland, and now it has degenerated slowly but surely and inevitably toward him because he's now clear aside, iso, dribble, rise up over 2 defenders and shoot a 15-foot jump shot. That's what their offense had become, and it's really good. But again, right now, to my eye, it's working a little better without him as far as the ball movement because, to Seth's point, it's way harder to guard those 2 guards. And if you throw Iggy in there and everybody else is moving, Draymond, they're moving and grooving and picking. And again, that's a lot harder to guard because Seth could be guarding his brother, and his brother, when Kevin's on the floor, Seth's just watching.
Yeah.
Are you going?
You Kevin's just standing in the corner.
Yeah.
But here, Skip, he had a post. There was a guy that made a post. Doubt us without KD. Doubt Curry. Doubt Clay and Dre. And keep thinking Milwaukee is better. A fan wrote on the post of Warriors Talk Instagram. Y'all doubters and haters will see. Kevin Durant responds, very divisive, Mikey. Let's celebrate the Dub Nation.
No.
F wrong.
No.
That's just how many followers? Mikey got like 23 followers, I think.
Skip, all he said, if you're doubting us with Clay and Steph and Draymond, you're doubting these Warriors without KD, we're going to prove you wrong. KD say you being divisive. All he doing is...
Let me say this, though, and this is where I disagree with you, Shannon.
What's that?
If they're better without KD or win the championship without him, I agree. Those titles are diminished a little bit. But this is really not a slight on how great KD is.
No!
He still could be the best player in the world. I'm not so sure if, let's say, LeBron had gone to the Warriors instead of KD. Now, they would win titles because they'd be so overwhelmingly talented.
Right.
But this very same scenario could happen.
Yes.
Because if LeBron was there, he would handle the ball. Steph and Clay would be glorified spot-up shooters, and they'd win. But if LeBron got hurt and he's out of it, all of a sudden this happens again, and you would be like, this is beautiful. They look better without LeBron.
But see, that's my argument. They were so great before he got there. If they had lost the 2 finals and KD comes and puts them over the top, now we got a conversation. They 73-9 with a 2-time league MVP. What the hell you expect them to be?
The answer is, look, if they had won that championship against Cleveland, KD never would have went there.
That's true.
And now you're seeing it. They look like they're going to win it without him.
Skip, if Julio Jones leaves Atlanta and goes and links up with Tom Brady and wins the championship, Man, Julio was bad. Boy, Julio the dude, they won before you got there.
That is true, which harks back to the quote from our Chris Haynes on Yahoo that in the incident that Draymond got into it with KD on the bench during the Clippers game early this season, the quotes were, and I'm going to read the quotes again, according to Chris Haynes, that Draymond looked at him on the bench and said, "We don't need you. We won without you. Leave," and called him the B word.
No, he didn't say, he said leave, B.
Leave.
And I ain't talking about B like, hey, B, what's up, B? Not that kind of B. The other kind of B.
Yeah, look, I'm glad Kevin Durant is not seriously injured. I want to see how this plays out.
His ego.
Honestly.
I tell you what, his ego. Listen.
But he's human.
Yeah.
That's all this means. Doesn't mean he's a bad person.
No.
He's a human being.
With the thinnest superstar
And an
we've
extra
ever seen.
sensitive human being.
He knows
Yes.
everything.
I'm talking to you from a guy that's been in that situation. You get hurt, Skip, and the team keeps moving along without you, and the like, wait a minute.
And what if they look better without you?
I'm like, they doing it without me. So that means they think they can go on without me. They're not gonna make.
You talk about not letting it get to you and the mental side of the game. That has to affect it.
Of course it does.
Sitting there.
But Steph Curry is just going to show you. Y'all guys realize I'm the last two-time MVP? I'm the last guy to win consecutive MVPs. So while I conceded, I took a back seat. But I show you, I'm a lead dog.
Do you think he feels like they're just pushing him out the door now?
Let me look, and this is I've talked to some players. What players tell me is KD is recruiting guys to go to New York with him.
Okay.
Right now. So
no surprise.
So
and if we hear that, you can't tell me the Warriors players don't hear that.
And guess what? Steph, Clay, and Draymond, they done packed their suitcase. They done called them an Uber. Say, no matter how long you gotta wait, we got you.
They're not.
They saying the right stuff, but they gotta know inside he's
But
out
Steph Curry, like, we gonna go with, because now we keep talking about KD passing LeBron. Let Steph Curry win this one and another one. Guess what, KD?
Let Steph.